What if I told you that your morning coffee isn't the problem, but that 28% of your lifetime investment returns are being stolen from you right now without you even knowing it? Today, we're diving deep into the money habits that are silently sabotaging your wealth, and more importantly, the exact replacements that can transform your financial future. Here's the harsh reality: 73% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck, and 60% of all Americans are trapped in the same cycle. But here's what nobody talks about: it's not your income that determines your wealth, it's your daily habits. After spending years analyzing thousands of people's financial patterns, I've discovered that changing just a handful of key behaviors can completely transform your financial trajectory. Let's start with the biggest wealth killer that nobody wants to admit: status spending. We're hardwired for hierarchy. Even when our ancestors lived in caves, they understood the power of signaling superiority. Today, that primal drive manifests as expensive cars, luxury watches, and designer everything. But here's the truth that luxury car dealers don't want you to know. If Ferraris were as common as Toyota Priuses, nobody would want them anymore. Consider this shocking statistic. The average American now has a car payment exceeding $1,000 per month. That means people are financing $67,000 vehicles for 72 months just to impress people they don't even care about. Meanwhile, that same monthly payment invested in the stock market over 30 years would create a nest egg worth over $1.2 million. You're literally trading your future wealth for temporary validation. The antidote to status spending is what I call value-based purchasing. Before buying anything expensive, ask yourself this question: am I buying this because it genuinely improves my life, or because I want others to think differently about me? If it's the latter, walk away. Instead, redirect that money toward assets that actually appreciate in value. A $30,000 watch will be worth $15,000 in 10 years, but $30,000 invested in a diversified portfolio could be worth $80,000. The second wealth destroyer is trying to keep up with successful friends. I learned this lesson painfully when my friend Tom became wildly successful in commercial real estate. He developed expensive tastes for Michelin-starred restaurants and would make reservations at the most exclusive places in San Francisco. At first, I went along spending $100 minimum every single meal. The breaking point came when we finished a $200 French dinner and were still hungry, so we ended up at Chipotle afterward. That's when I realized I was sacrificing my financial goals to maintain a lifestyle that didn't align with my values or budget. True friends will understand when you set financial boundaries. The key is honest communication. Instead of making excuses, suggest alternatives that work for your budget. Propose cooking dinner together, exploring free events, or finding activities that don't revolve around expensive spending. Replace social pressure spending with intentional friend investments. Set aside a specific monthly amount for social activities and stick to it. When that budget is exhausted, suggest budget-friendly alternatives. Real friendships survive financial honesty. Fake ones don't. And that's valuable information. Next, we have the buy now, pay later trap, which has exploded with companies like Afterpay, Klarna, and Affirm. These services seem harmless, offering interest-free payments spread over 4 installments. But here's the catch that gets most people. If you miss even one payment, you're hit with fees that can reach 25% of the item's value. These companies profit from your inevitable mistakes because most people struggle with debt management. The rule I follow religiously is this: if I can't afford to buy something outright, I don't use buy now, pay later services, period. This simple filter has saved me thousands of dollars and countless financial headaches. Instead of financing small purchases, build a dedicated fund for wants. When you see something you desire, wait 24 hours. If you still want it and can afford it without financing, then consider the purchase. The fourth major mistake is failing to automate your financial future. Most people live reactively, hoping to save whatever is left at month's end. Spoiler alert, there's never anything left. Wealth building requires the opposite approach. Pay your future self first through automation. Set up automatic transfers for 5 to 10% of every paycheck to go directly into a savings account before you can spend it. This isn't just about the money itself, but about building the psychological muscle of prioritizing your future. Start small if needed. Even $50 per month creates momentum and proves to yourself that wealth building is possible. Next, audit your discretionary spending ruthlessly. Review 3 months of credit card statements and categorize every expense into needs versus wants. Most people are shocked to discover they're spending $200 to $400 monthly on forgotten subscriptions, streaming services, and impulse purchases they barely remember making. The fifth wealth killer is impulse purchasing, especially when emotions are involved. Whether you're shopping for loved ones or scrolling Instagram, those feel-good purchases add up devastatingly fast. Research shows that impulse purchases account for 40% of all e-commerce spending. Even worse, 64% of impulse shoppers purchase additional items during checkout, creating a compounding spending effect. The solution is implementing cooling off periods. For purchases under $50, wait 24 hours. For purchases under $200, wait a week. For anything above that, wait a full month. During this waiting period, ask yourself specific questions. Do I have space for this item? Will I use it regularly? Am I buying this to solve an emotional need that money can't actually fix? Create alternative emotional outlets that don't involve spending. When you feel the urge to shop emotionally, go for a walk, call a friend, or engage in a hobby you already own equipment for. The goal isn't to never spend money, but to spend it intentionally rather than impulsively. The sixth mistake is making minimum payments on credit card debt while investing elsewhere. This seems counterintuitive, but paying off high-interest debt is actually a guaranteed return on investment. If your credit card charges 18% interest, paying it off is equivalent to earning an 18% return, which beats the historical stock market average. Consider this terrifying example. A $100 t-shirt purchased on a credit card and paid off through minimum payments will ultimately cost $214 due to compound interest. You're literally paying double for everything when you carry credit card debt. Make debt elimination your first investment priority before anything else. Now here's a controversial habit that actually costs money being cheap in the wrong areas. I experienced this when my car's check engine light came on due to rodents chewing the wiring. The dealership quoted $2,500, which seemed outrageous, so I found a cheaper mechanic who charged only $400. 2 weeks later, the check engine light returned. The cheaper mechanic had simply patched the wires instead of replacing the damaged components properly. I ended up paying the full dealership price anyway, plus the $400 I'd wasted. Sometimes cheap is expensive, and expensive is cheap when you factor in longevity and quality. The strategy is to identify areas where quality matters and areas where it doesn't. For items you use daily or that affect your health, safety, or income, don't go cheap. For disposable items or things you rarely use, generic options are fine. Invest in quality shoes if you walk a lot, but buy generic paper towels. The seventh wealth destroyer is subscription creep. 51% of Americans admit to paying for subscriptions they don't want often because they forgot to cancel free trials. These seemingly small charges can easily total $300 to $500 annually. Conduct quarterly subscription audits by reviewing your credit card statements. My personal rule is if I don't use a service at least twice per month, I cancel it immediately. Set calendar reminders to review subscriptions and consider using apps that help track and cancel unwanted recurring charges. The eighth mistake is not investing early enough. Time is your most powerful wealth-building tool due to compound interest. If you start investing $5,000 annually at age 25 with a 7% return, you'll have over $1 million by age 65. Wait until 35 to start the same investment plan, and you'll only have around $500,000. That 10-year delay costs you approximately $450,000 in final wealth. The lesson is clear: start investing immediately, even with small amounts. A Roth IRA allows you to start with just a few dollars and offers tremendous tax advantages. Replace investment procrastination with automatic investing. Set up automatic monthly transfers to investment accounts immediately after payday. Start with whatever amount you can afford, even if it's just $25 per month. The habit matters more than the amount initially. The ninth wealth killer is ignoring tax optimization strategies. The ultra-wealthy spend enormous resources minimizing their tax burden legally, and you should too, albeit on a smaller scale. Beyond retirement account contributions, you can deduct mortgage interest contribute to 529 education savings plans and maximize health savings account contributions. Many people overpay taxes by thousands annually simply because they don't understand available deductions. Consider hiring a tax professional or using quality tax software to ensure you're capturing every legitimate deduction. The money saved can be redirected toward wealth-building investments. The 10th mistake is expense tracking avoidance. You can't optimize what you don't measure. Since 2014, I've tracked every expense to the penny, and this habit has provided invaluable insights into spending patterns while building financial discipline. You don't need to be as extreme as tracking every cent, but understanding your major spending categories is essential. Track expenses for just 3 months to identify patterns. Most people discover they're spending far more than expected in certain categories and can easily redirect that money toward savings and investments. The 11th wealth destroyer is following invisible money scripts inherited from childhood. These subconscious beliefs about money guide your financial decisions without your awareness. Common destructive scripts include, "We can't afford it," "Money is the root of all evil," and "Investing is only for rich people." Challenge these inherited beliefs by examining their origins. Ask yourself why you believe certain things about money and whether those beliefs serve your current goals. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering alternatives like money is a tool for creating opportunities, and investing is how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. The 12th mistake is setting vague financial goals. Saying you want to get better with money is meaningless without specifics. Generic goals often lead to frustration and abandoned efforts because success isn't clearly defined. Replace vague intentions with SMART goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of wanting to save more money, commit to automatically transferring $150 per month to your emergency fund for the next 12 months. This clarity creates accountability and measurable progress. The 13th wealth killer is defensive money management, constantly worrying about factors beyond your control, like Federal Reserve decisions or daily market fluctuations. This anxiety often leads people to check their accounts obsessively and make emotional financial decisions. Replace defensive anxiety with offensive planning. Focus on what you can control: your savings rate, investment consistency, and expense optimization. Set up automatic systems that work regardless of market conditions, then limit account checking to monthly reviews at most. The final wealth destroyer is scarcity mindset, which prevents you from enjoying the fruits of financial discipline. I've counseled millionaires who can't bring themselves to buy blueberries or take vacations their spouses have wanted for decades. Money hoarding defeats the purpose of wealth building. The solution is creating a conscious spending plan that includes guilt-free spending categories. Allocate 20 to 35% of your income for enjoyable purchases after covering necessities, savings, and investments. This ensures you're building wealth while actually enjoying life today. Your financial transformation starts with implementing these habit swaps systematically. Choose 3 habits that resonate most strongly with your current situation and focus on changing those first. Once they become automatic, add additional improvements gradually. Remember, wealth building isn't about perfection, but about consistent progress. Small changes compound dramatically over time. The person who starts automating $100 monthly in their 20s will likely accumulate more wealth than someone who waits until their 40s to start saving thousands monthly. The path from financial stress to financial freedom is paved with daily decisions. Every time you choose long-term wealth over short-term gratification, you're building the foundation for your rich life. Every automated investment, every declined impulse purchase. Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. Start implementing these strategies immediately because time is your most valuable asset and you can never get it back. Subscribe for more wealth-building strategies and take the first step toward your financial transformation right now.